Welcome back, dear viewers. As we said earlier that in our first segment for today, we are going to talk about the fourth generation warfare. It is a term used by military thinkers to describe the type of conflicts by the beginning of the 21st century. And to know more about warfare, the fourth generation warfare, we are joined here in the studio with Miss Raghda El Saeed. She is a skills proficiency expert. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, and let me start first of all by talking about what is it about the fourth generation warfare?
It's describing itself. It is fourth generation. We know the war, which is an army conquers
The traditional one.
the traditional one, and two armies fighting together, and then some tactics in World War I or II, which you have a battlefield, and then you have certain plans to conquer another countries. This is the easiest war. The easiest war because it affects or it targets the inside or the inner part of the country. For example, riots, rumors, all these stuff. They make like a very light. They spread very light things, and then they just the big organizations fall down. So it simply has a battlefield, which is the social media. Media, or the mass communication, all the communication affects it terribly. Terribly, and I mean terribly. You have a big role in this. A rumor can destroy a country. One rumor, or a state. Okay, so this is the weapon for it is simply the sarcasm. Whenever I say fourth generation warfare, they tell me, okay, now there's nothing called fourth generation warfare. So I tell them, no, it is there. It's the weapon that you destroy the word itself. You make sarcasm. So this is the summary of fourth war.
So again, you were talking about the weapons used in this warfare. So besides media,
Okay.
what else is used in this war?
The social media.
Yes.
The people itself in the country, they just, do you hear, we never heard about riots or demonstrations.
Yes.
Or even some rumors, some religion problems between people. All these things, it's like a fire. You put the fire and it just spreads easily, very easy. I'll give you a small example. When we have a rumor or a fake news,
Yes.
actually it makes about thousands of shares and thousands of retweets, okay? What if they say the real news after that? You will not find these shares. Because rumors have certain kinds. It affects the psychology of the person himself.
Yes.
Is he ready for this? When something happens in Alexandria, for example, something like rains, a disaster like this for a few years ago, what's the first rumor can be spread? That the governor has left or resigned. Many people will believe it because they are ready to believe it. So they play on this, the readiness of people to believe these rumors. So they play on news, fake news, rumors. They make like riots. And the terrible thing is that they are trying to destroy ethics and principles through fake news, also through the social media, through spreading something against our culture and against our traditions.
Talking about the social media, and I believe this is the main tool.
Exactly.
And it is affecting
The
us
battlefield.
tremendously. And the point is that unfortunately we have some people who are well trained to use it and to trigger all these actions of violence, for example. Unfortunately, there are others who are not trained at all, but they are just following like this. So from here, we need to talk about the awareness. How can we work on this? Because sometimes maybe you are not happy, maybe you are frustrated. And when you see a piece of news or rumors or something like this, so you will be following. And I didn't see this abroad, actually. I didn't see when something happens in a country that the youth of the same country, they're going to blame even their government. I didn't see this like what I see here in Egypt. So how can we work on this?
First of all, you said awareness. This is very important. And the second thing, it is meant to be like that.
Yes, but I think after many years of using social media, people are aware now.
Aware
that-
of social media,
Yes,
not aware
there are
of
many
it.
fake news on it.
Yes, but what do they do?
It's
Nothing.
not like before.
It, actually, no, it's
Yes.
more. No, it is more
It is
than
more?
before. Yes,
Yes.
more. The rumors are spreading more. The fake news are spreading more.
Yes.
Even they are nothing to stop them. There is no law for or internet law or netiquette to stop these things, because I can easily,
So it's
insult
not
someone.
easy to supervise these.
It's not easy to
webs-
supervise, and something else, insult became
Yes.
something, spreading.
Sometimes even there are sources that are well known, and for example, they have headlines, and I
Yes.
think you have seen this headlines that these headlines have nothing to do with
Exactly.
what the content
Content.
of the news.
But I'll tell you
actually.
something. People want to believe. Sometimes when you read a news, you want to believe this news. So automatically you spread it and you share it because you really want to believe it. Because lately everyone wants to say that I am right. I was right from the beginning. So what helps him? A piece of news, a rumor, something that happened inside the country that says, yes, I was right, this wasn't a good project or something, and now it is destroyed, so he's fulfilling his ego. I'm saying he's fulfilling his ego. When you said something about the social media, it is the real battlefield. Daesh and ISIS and these people are actually playing on neuro-linguistic programming. They are
brainwashing youth.
Yes, brainwashing through certain words. Okay,
Yes.
when you say many negative vocabulary or many negative words,
They are hiding behind religion
exactly.
to
They are
attract
making a
youths.
frame of religion, and they are just injecting the mentality of people or the
Yes.
mind of people by words such as rights, demonstrations, freedom. The word freedom is really you are free to do what you want, but actually they are deviating them to something else than freedom because they are followers. This following issue is very important also. The following issue that you have, there is something called mainstream in social media. You find it becomes a mainstream in Twitter and Facebook and all the social media. This mainstream, if you go against it, sometimes people will give you, terrorism in your thoughts. They will tell you if you say so, then you are just flirting with the government. So you stop saying. I was affected to this, and I told them I'm learning that this is terrorism on my mind, on my mentality. They want me to stop saying good things or maybe positive things about my country. And whenever I say any positive thing, they just say she's flirting with the country, and they think that I'm going to be afraid, so I'm going to stop talking. No, I just keep talking and saying about the positive things, and I tell them, okay, if you think so, okay, it's your problem, and I'm going to go on with my positiveness. So it's a matter of all mental debates, mental and reason is involving in this actually in this war.
Talking about this, actually, talking about the social media, that still up till now, the point is that people, as you mentioned, they want to believe. And again, how can we work on this? How can we promote awareness? Especially that nowadays we can see many different rumors in different sectors, actually. And the point is that no one is answering. And when we started to use the same weapon, we started to exaggerate. The youth who are sitting to answer the other side, they are exaggerating in their feelings, in defending the country, something like
the bear
this.
that killed
So
its,
they are, from this point, the other side as well will start to take benefit out of this. So how can we make it a balanced one?
Okay, we have roles, okay? There is a governmental role, and people's role, and media role. I think there are three. This triangle is very important. First of all, the government has to put laws, strict laws, against fake news, against insulting on the net, because you can insult someone, he can be affected, so he changes his mind, he can do whatever crimes are. So the first of all, putting a real and strict law to fix this. Media awareness, let the people be aware of what is fourth generation war. Tell
Do you
them
think
about
that the Arab Spring in general, when it started in 2011, It was a fourth generation warfare.
And before, you know, they were preparing for it. So it
Yes.
was really successful. It was a real war. Actually, a war began with a demonstration.
Yes.
And they destroyed. And they tried to, you know, to make the image of the country, you know, they tried to inject negative thoughts or negative beliefs in the people against their country. That's why when you told me, no one can, they have to defend their country, not, you know, not attack them. You never find anyone attacking their countries except, I think, in Egypt or in the spring.
In the Middle East.
Middle East, because of the, you know, this Arab Spring. But actually, they are injecting this in them. Prove or attack your country to prove that you are right. So you're going to satisfy your ego. It's all like neuro-linguistic, you know, they are injecting these words. We have the media, we have the people themselves to just investigate. Simply investigate when you hear the news. I'll tell you a trick. Whenever you read, you know, a title in the newspapers, the reality behind someone is dead, no, don't open this news, he's not dead. Actually, the reality behind the death of someone, he's not dead.
Yes.
Because they're just actually
trying to catch attention.
Exactly, traffic. They want to make traffic. Lately, this became, you know, they are obsessed with shares and likes and traffic. So, and many sites and news sites are, you know, they have competition to get more people to read. So they just make catchy titles. Some people take these catchy titles as news. They do not investigate. They don't have the time because of the life rush. They don't have the time to look inside the news itself. So they just take the title and spread it. Actually, it's not a title. It's just something catchy to attract the people to read it or to open the link.
So people now should be aware that if they read such a headline, it's fake.
Exactly.
This is what
Fake
I'm talking
or
about.
simply.
By time,
Exactly.
people will learn what is true and what is just propaganda or...
Exactly. But we have to just simply open the link, read the details. You know, sometimes when we are saying, we are speaking here about forced word generation. And I say, you know, something in my words that say there is no forced word generation and people don't believe it. They will take my statement, Raghda El Saeed, there is no forced word generation. And people will believe this. They will say she was convinced that there was 4G war. No, she's not convinced. Now look at the title. So they are going to see the title only and, you know, build every consequences on it.
I think it is the perception.
Exactly.
How you want to perceive what you hear from others. But again, talking about the awareness, and the point is that nowadays we started to see terrorism, we started to see violence across the world and in the countries who used to blame us. And recently we started to see some strict rules and laws, and they don't care about freedom of expression, they care about the national security.
Exactly.
Each of these countries, we are talking about the United States, we are talking about Europe in general.
Europe.
So this is another important part, because here in Egypt, when they start to talk about anything that has to do with, for example, freedom of expression or any of these terminologies, they are very sensitive because they cannot apply any rules because people will accuse them.
Exactly.
So again, we have to work on this.
This is called mind terrorism. You know, and actually, Egypt was under the control of this mind terrorism through human rights organizations, because whenever they try to catch someone or to arrest someone because he's doing any riot or is going to destruct something, they were, you know, they put in their mind that they may be accused by not, you know, respecting the rights of these people. But lately, all Europe, look at, you know, Holland, what is she doing? Because they are going to ruin the country by demonstrations. Simply, it begins with a small, you know, small structure like that. It is, you know, a demonstration. Some people get arrested. Some people hide inside. And then, so it is war. This is war. This is terrorism. Terrorism is not a matter of getting a bomb and doing it. No, terrorism is in rumors. Terrorism in fake news. Terrorism is in, you know, invading things that is destroying principles and ethics. So this is terrorism, and this is the 4G wars. Actually, you have a hidden enemy. This is the issue.
In your opinion, is education considered a tool to face these rumors and to face terrorism as well, which is spreading on social media, as we all know that poverty and illiteracy are main causes behind terrorism and these and people's ability to believe these news.
Okay. Education is the base, okay? But does Europe have poverty and illiteracy? Europe is very well educated and they have terrorism. It's
Yes.
not a matter of education only, but it is the most important. I agree with you. But it's the matter of, you know, what tools do they use with them? Because, you know, they brainwash them in certain ways. And actually, I always say, because it's my field, that human resources or interpersonal skills are a great weapon, because we have negotiation skills, we have persuasive skills, and we teach this and we train people to be persuasive. Actually, this is a real weapon, okay, in convincing people. But if you have this weapon with religion, it's the most destructive. You can use it in destroying the world, or in refreshing the world and renewing the world with ethics and these things. Because you have you know, this triangle, ethos, pathos, and logos. When you convince someone, you have ethics, you have logic, and you have emotions. It's the, you know, Aristotle triangle in convincing. These people have religion. So when they talk about ethos or ethics, they talk about religion, they get, you know, words from the Quran or something. And then emotions, they play on their emotions of, we want to destroy the bad things, we are going to go to heaven. They play really on their emotions. And logos, the word is going on, you know, I saw a dream, I saw you with Prophet Muhammad in heaven, so just go, bomb yourself, and you're going to win the, you know, these ladies in heaven. So they have certain way, and we have to be aware in renewing the religious speech. We have to be aware in renewing the skills for people, the communication skills. Let them have the way to discuss with each other, not to fight with each other. We have to let them learn to accept the other, or respect the other opinion, change places. You know, all these skills, we have to, you know, to inject them in the people. Actually, through media, through social media, and people have to you know, try to forget your ego a bit. Try to use your mind a bit. It can solve this.
You know, the challenge here is not only about the awareness of the youth, it is about the awareness of the parents as well.
Exactly.
Because we have seen, for example, in different cases that they discovered a terrorist or one of the youth, for example, and his parents, they know nothing about him, and he appears in front of them as an angel. And they are just shocked when they hear what the son did. And this is another important part. So when can a mother or a father tell that his child, son or daughter, in danger?
Okay, we trust our children, but we must supervise them, even if it's from behind their backs. We have to supervise or see, because all can be in such a smartphone. A smartphone.
It is actually.
Exactly. But this is his word. So the smartphone, very simple. Everything, he gets order, he gets brainwashed, everything through his mobile. On the other hand, we have to make some balance. Try to drag him, try to communicate. This is the key. Communicate with your children, just to see what do they think. Try to speak about terrorism. Try to speak about religion. Try to speak about even communication itself. Try to sense, does your child or your son or your daughter have certain deviations through anger? How does he look at his country? Because this is the key. They look at the country, they see the defects or the problems inside it, and they make use of that to convince people to be against their country. Gradually, he becomes, you know, I always say the most dangerous thing than terrorism of weapons and bombs is the terrorism of minds, when people, you know, they attack their countries. Maybe the statue of Ozymandias, this statue that was found, people attacked the government terribly. terribly and said, no, they held it in the wrong way. Actually, the German experts, which were inside the location of the statue, said, no, we made the right procedures and everything was fine, and it was cut into 2 pieces. They didn't believe the expert, but they believed in themselves because they want to attack their country. This is more dangerous than the terrorism itself with bombs and weapons, actually. So we are fighting, you know, a hidden enemy.
Do you think that this 4th generation warfare is controlling the political life in many countries?
Actually, yes. Yes, because...
Not only in Egypt, worldwide.
Worldwide, yes.
Like the rise of Trump in the United States.
Did you see the role
Yes.
of media in Trump
Yes, this is what I'm talking
campaign
about.
and
Yes.
Trump? This is actually what's happening. People and spreading the words. You know, the media, they were showing us that Hillary was invading and she's conquering and she's the
Yes.
winner and all this stuff, but actually it wasn't on land. Actually, it wasn't on land. So this is the issue. The media has a real role, and this is the 4G wars, actually.
So as a skills proficiency expert, what is your advice to youths
Okay. First
to
of all,
develop their skills in general?
okay. We cannot say train yourself on interpersonal skills,
Yes.
negotiation skills. We have to...
Presentation skills?
Exactly. We have to, you know, I don't want to say we have to enter war with the same weapon, but actually we must use their ways. We cannot use our way. We cannot say stay in our defensive state. We have to be invaders, actually, but we have to invade with the right things. Try to focus on positive things. Try to grab youth or people through social media. If I'm in my position, I try to write this in articles,
Yes.
for example.
Where do you think youths can find truth? If they don't find truth on social media in general, how do you advise them to look for the truth by themselves?
Exactly.
Or do what?
Okay, first of all, when you have a news, search for its source. Make sure that this, for example, news is from a trusted source. Open the, you know, if it is a foreign
Yes.
agency or something, open the link on their site and see. And then try to investigate. You know, it's very easy. I'm not saying investigate
Yes.
to go to try to search, to ask with your friends, to discuss. Try to accept that your country will be fine and will
Yes.
develop quickly. And don't go with negativeness, and don't go with this mental destruction. You know, they keep injecting negative issues in their minds, and try to investigate, try to listen. This is a very important key. Listen and grasp, and think, and then answer. Nobody's always right. Nobody's perfect. So you don't have to be always right. You don't have to fight to say, yes, I was right. This is a fatal mistake.
In the past, we used to see on the social media in general, for example, that they are taking the source or the piece of news from the media, from TV. Nowadays, it is vice versa. We started to see the private channels, some of the private channels,
Many.
they are taking it from the source on the social media.
Yes.
And this is something, you know, I don't know how we can take such sources to be just declared. And from here, another part, the lack of trust. Because as you mentioned, I don't want to be, nowadays we are all have this. No one wants to believe the other side, even if he is saying the truth. And this is another important weapon that is used against us.
Yes.
Again, all what we have seen across the globe, no one is attacking the other, no one is attacking his government like we do here.
Yes. Okay. The secret word here is credibility. Our government has had some mistakes or some negative issues, but actually some people lost credibility in their country or in their government. So that's why when you lose credibility, you just take a chance and attack automatically. You will automatically attack. So this is the issue. Credibility. Try to give a chance for your country or your government to give you this credibility back.
Yes.
Okay, don't attack and that's it, and believe that you are right. Nobody's right all the time.
Okay, Ms. Raghda El Saeed, skills proficiency expert, thank you for being
Thank
with
you
us
very
today.
much.
Now, dear viewers, we'll go for a short break and we'll be back with the second segment in today's show, so stay tuned.